Inside Metropolis General Hospital, Lex Luthor steps outside of an MRI machine. "You're doing great, Mr. Luthor," the doctor said. "Well, where do I stand?" "Well, I'm a little baffled. More than amazed, actually. Your MRI shows that your brain, while fully grown, it's essentially new. The neurotoxin you were exposed to may have erased your memories, but it also left your mind operating at a higher percentage than normal. My father always said I had potential to be extraordinary. So if nothing's wrong, and I'm in fact more than normal, why am I hallucinating? These images you're seeing of your sister, your waking mind, have you considered seeing a therapist? The psychological toll of learning that Miss Mercer committed suicide should not be underestimated." "Suicide, huh?" A female voice comes in. "Gotta tell you, I didn't think I had it in me." Lex looks over and once again, he can see the ghostly image of his sister. "Thank you for your time, Doctor. I trust I'll enjoy your discretion. No less than Metropolis General will enjoy the new equipment LexCorp has donated," the doctor replied. "What are you more afraid of, Lex? That the world will see you as an unstable lunatic, or just that you were assembled from the cloned pieces of one?" Tess said. "Let's cut to the chase here, sis. Are you a hallucination, or are you a ghost?" "You stabbed me in the gut. I painted you with brain poison. One warm Luthor hug later, and I was standing next to you on the street. Besides, if I was a ghost, do you honestly think you would be the one that I chose to haunt? Then if I'm not hallucinating, what the hell are you?" "You might have some answers if you spend a little more time obsessing on that, instead of whether or not Superman is going to murder us all. It's only a matter of time before someone with the level of power Superman has wields it, begins abusing it." "No offense, Mr. Luthor, but I don't think that's the best way to open your press conference." "Find me all the research you can on the neurotoxin test used on me." "If you think we need to delay your press conference, we can," Lex's assistant Otis chimes in. "No. Tell publicity we're starting on time as planned. We can't waste any more time if the military won't take steps to keep us safe." Superman, meanwhile, is floating in orbit, and Chloe comes through on the comms. "Watchtower to Boy Scout. Do you copy?" "It's okay to use Superman now, Chloe." "I know, it's just a little something the husband insists I do." "I'll bet," says Clark. Chloe asks how his scan's going as he uses his scanning tool, but he says, "I'm feeding you the data now, but it doesn't really seem like there's anything out here. I've flexed through the entire X-ray, infrared, gamma. No sign anything's happened here." Chloe then asks Clark, when has he been able to use multi-spectrum vision? And he lets her know that he's been able to do it for several months. Meanwhile, back at Star Labs, Emil Hamilton is explaining to Chloe about Superman's vision. He tells her that strenuous testing of his X-ray vision led to the discovery of other vision-related capabilities. As dictated by the late Dr. Swan's will, Star Labs was established to help the Traveler learn more about himself and the world around him. He then tells Chloe that he would love to send one of his hazardous environment drones up into the Steed, but the HED program isn't finished field testing. Emil begins to apologize, but then Clark just whooshes in, happy to help. "Just let me know when you find the trajectory for that ship. Excuse me for a moment." Sure enough, he is running late for Lex's press conference. Why is it I never find myself looking forward to news coming out of Lex Luthor's mouth? "Well, that's because you know better, Clark," Chloe says. Luthor opens up the press conference. "Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I'd like to thank you for joining me on what promises to be an historic..." "Mr. Luthor!" a familiar voice screams out. It's Lois Lane. Typically, the question and answer portion of these takes place after the information has been provided from which questions can be derived, Miss Lane. Well, typically press conferences don't happen at night. "Where were you, Mr. Luthor?" Lois asks. "Before this, had a rather nice meal at a quaint establishment called Rago's." "Allow me to clarify, Mr. Luthor. Sometime before dinner, but after your sister declared you dead. Yet also before they declared your sister dead. But you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?" "First of all, let me assure you that my dearly departed sister is never far from my thoughts. And secondly, my time away was from my own protection." "From who?" "From myself." Lex goes on to explain that the Luthor name has become synonymous with a great many evils, mostly due to his father, a poisonous legacy, and it turned his sister Tess Mercer against him. He then says that the only reason that he even returned is because he got a phone call from Tess, and she wasn't well. At this time, Clark slides in. Clark apologizes to Lois for being late, and Lex uses Lois's distraction to jump back into what he was talking about. He tells the crowd that his time away was not only a period of reflection but of selfishness. He stood idly by while the heroes attempted to do what common man thought impossible, to save us from ourselves. He says, but the Blurs or the Superman, these heroes miss the bigger picture. It's not from ourselves that we need protecting. The heavens themselves have turned against us. The sky is an open invitation of disaster from above. He said that he looks before him and sees people that are terrified, and that's why he has started the Guardian Defense Platform. He's going to send it into Earth's orbit immediately to protect from any strange visitors. Lois then asked how he intends to get it into orbit so quickly. Our Savior's even closer than you think, he replied. Our very own Superman. He goes on to say, ladies and gentlemen, meet the man who, along with me, will help shape not only the future of our fair city, but the fate of the entire world, Commander Hank Henshaw. Later that day at Luthor Corp, an angry Oliver Queen storms up to Lex Luthor. You know, if I didn't know any better, Lex, I would say that you're overcompensating, but I do know better. Oliver Queen, you didn't swing it down here on a zipline. I'm surprised. It's in the shop, said Oliver. Luthor tells his guards to stand down and to just let him catch up with his old friend. What the hell are you doing here, Lex? The military will never let you keep that thing in the sky. No matter how much spin you put on yourself, they know what you're capable of. Oliver, have you stopped to consider perhaps that's exactly why you don't see them stopping me? Oliver goes on to say that he knows exactly what Lex is capable of. But Lex tells him, well, you've got me at a disadvantage because I don't remember any of that. Oliver said, well, that's a pretty small price to pay considering where Tess ended up. Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Oliver Queen, what a peculiar assortment of allies my sister made in a short time. Yeah, Lex, makes me think her suicide all the more suspicious, don't you think? Oh, quite the contrary. Faced with a failing company and the apparent end of the world, simply made giving up her only option. She came around, Lex. You might not remember it, but we both put her through different kinds of hell, and she came out stronger for it. I wonder what people will think about LexCorp's little white knight when Green Arrow proves Lex Luthor is a murderer. And Lex replies, well, should the tabloids run such a blatant act of fiction? The people who'd really care will be the people busy reading the very true story of the mysterious facility Queen Industries has been constructing on the far side of the moon. You building a little clubhouse for our superhero friends, are we, Ollie? Did we ever have a clubhouse when we were friends? You know, when we were children? We were friends, right? That's one memory I'm glad I lost. Best of luck on the launch, Lex. An angry Oliver Queen says as he storms out. Pre-flight, Clark gets to sit down and interview Hank Henshaw. Forgive me, Commander, but that's an awful lot of food. Well, it's just this silly superstition, the commander says. It's a pre-flight thing, I guess. You know, we got 5 senses. Some men like to watch sunset or take aroma of a good steak, but taste, touch, sensation, that's the best of the bunch. Not just food, mind you, but the whole range from rain on my face to the feelings of gravity just falling as you hit orbit. It's as close as us normal folks ever come to flying. I know what you mean, Clark says. From roller coasters. You know, the world's not as bad off as Lex Luthor would have you think. You're not one of those Superman nuts, are you? I bet you even got an S on that undershirt of yours. Then Henshaw says that he's just joking with Clark. He said that he thinks Superman's trying to do good, but he asks why isn't he out there stopping wars before they start? Clark says maybe Superman doesn't want to impose his will on others. Henshaw then shakes Clark's hand and says that it's time for him to go. Get home safe, Hank, Clark says. What goes up must come down, says Henshaw. Meanwhile, back at Star Labs. At least we know where one spaceship is about to streak through Kansas, Chloe says. That isn't all we know, Chloe. The scanner I had Clark take into orbit got a hit, a faint ion trail arching down through orbit. Where did our little falling star touch down? If the trajectory sound is right, here. Why would anything crash anywhere else? It's clearly Smallville. This is Mission Control. We have liftoff. I've got a bad feeling about this. Actually, I'm not altogether sure this is a bad thing, Lois. You're kidding me, right, Smallville? Superman can't be everywhere at once, says Clark. Back on board the spaceship, Hank has a huge smile on his face. 2, 1, boosters away! Prepare for fuel tank separation in 3, 2... What the hell? Something's wrong, says Clark. Mission Control, we have a problem. Suddenly, they see the ship explode in midair. Oh my God, says Lois, what happened? This looks like a job for Superman, says the mysterious person in this outfit. Superman flies into action. Watchtower, I need a rundown. I know, Clark. Computer online. Acknowledged. Accessing mission control system now. All right, crew of 6. They're all in the forward section. Clark, you need to get that fire out before it hits the fuel tank. I'm working on it. Watchtower, the fire's out, and the fuel tank's away. All in a day's work, Chloe says. We're not out of the woods yet, Watchtower. There's a massive radiation leak coming from the power cell on the platform. Even if they make the orbit, the crew won't survive. Chloe, patch me through to Mission Control. Mission Control, we got Superman on the line. Where is he? Look right next to you. What can I do for you, Superman? You can survive, Commander. I'm giving you fair warning that your cabin is about to depressurize. I need to pull it open so I can start ferrying you and your crew to the ground. Take them. I need to steer her into orbit. She can't go down leaking this much radiation. Just do it, Superman. Save the damn day already. I'll go as fast as I can, I promise. Then Chloe chimes in. There's something you need to know, Superman. The shuttle's hit orbit. The oxygen level's at almost zero. Superman moves as fast as he can, getting all the crew except for Henshaw down to the ground safely. Then he quickly flies back up for Henshaw. It burns! Oh, hell of a last thing to feel. As Henshaw starts to pass out, he sees the Superman logo and then all goes black. Superman grabs Henshaw and flies him as quickly as he possibly can, straight to an ambulance right outside Metropolis General Hospital. He's crashing! Clear! I've got a pulse! Radiation's acceptable, but get this man to the ICU right now. I know a better place, says Clark. Get Henshaw to Dr. Hamilton at Star Labs. Watchtower. Make sure they get green lights all the way. Superman, Superman, Lois screams. Can I get a quote for the planet? Clark responds, I've got a message from Mr. Kent. He isn't going to be home in time for breakfast. Why, Lois asks. Because Henshaw said the explosion wasn't a misfire. Outside of LexCorp. Mr. Luthor? Yes, Otis. I got that research you wanted on the toxins test exposed you to. You aren't going to like what we find. In a minute, Otis. Just let me savor this. Savor it, Mr. Luthor? How can you be smiling right now? Those astronauts almost died. This is terrible for the company, just awful. Quite the opposite, Otis. And I'm smiling for a very good reason. Which is? Superman and I are about to have a very interesting conversation.